Hello everyone, so we are back with the class 12th legal studies series, and in the previous lectures we have covered judicial review, fairness in executive matters, that how principles of natural justice are applied. We have taken the landmark judgment of Menaka Gandhi as well, right? So these are the things that we have done. Now I guess this is the last topic for this chapter, judiciary. So let's do it. It is basic structure. Supreme Court has extended practice of judicial review to matters concerning constitutional amendments by developing doctrine of basic structure of constitution. Means Supreme Court has extended the ambit of judicial review to the matters that are कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट्स के मैटर को भी जज करने के लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो जुडिशियल रिव्यू का एम्बिट है उसको बढ़ा दिया है. And it is what basic structure of constitution. That means parliament can amend anything, but the basic structure of the Indian constitution should remain intact. That means the parliament can amend anything as per article 368 of the constitution, but it cannot amend or it cannot do away with the basic structure of constitution. Okay. And if there is any law or any legislation which is passed that is contrary to the basic structure, that is disturbing or that is violating the basic structure of the constitution, then Supreme Court can take the cognizance and declare that law to be null and void. Okay, so Article 368 gives power to Parliament to amend the Constitution. And how can we amend? Amend means change. How can we change something? By adding, by removing, right? So when we add something, when we remove something, that means we are changing that. So similarly, when we say that amending the constitution, that means we can add a particular article, we can remove it, or we can make some minute or major changes into the same old article, right? So amending can be done by way of addition, variation, or repeal any provision. This article in its wording does not provide any limitation on power of Parliament to amend the Constitution. So if the original wording of this Article 368 is seen, then the Parliament is given absolute power to amend the Constitution and there is no limitation on the power. As discussed earlier, Article 13 subclause 2 states that state shall not make any law which takes away the rights conferred by Part 3, that is fundamental rights. So fundamental right of any citizen should not be violated by any law, any rule which is framed by the Parliament or by the government. Article 13 subclause 2 limits Parliament's amending authority in matters of fundamental rights. In order to overcome this restriction, in 1971, Parliament adopted 24th Amendment altering Articles 13 and 368 in a way that allowed itself with unlimited powers of amendments, including authority to amend fundamental rights provisions. Now, Article 368 gives absolute power to Parliament to amend the Constitution, but at the same time, Article 13 subclause 2 provides a limitation that Parliament cannot pass a law that is gonna violate the fundamental right of any citizen, let it be one citizen, two citizens, or many number of, but fundamental right of any one person even should not be violated. So, to come over with this restriction, this limitation in Article 13 subclause 2, in 1971, the Indira Gandhi government, that government adopted the 24th Amendment. Please remember, this is very important. Which amendment was adopted in 1971? That altered Articles 13 and 368. Please remember 24th Amendment, okay? Sometimes questions may frame out from this only. So in 1971, the Indira Gandhi government adopted the 24th Amendment to do away with this restriction, and for that they altered the Article 13 and 368 so that they may get unlimited or absolute power of amendment, and they could also amend the fundamental rights. Earlier in Article 13(2), it was written that fundamental rights cannot be amended, or there should not be any law that would violate the fundamental right. But by 24th Amendment, they tried to amend these articles in a way that that will give absolute power to them, so that they could also amend the fundamental rights. The landmark 1973 Supreme Court judgment of Keshwanand Bharti versus State of Kerala discussed the question about unlimited constitutional amendment powers of Parliament and established doctrine of basic structure of constitution. So, after 2 years, 1971, this amendment took place. Which amendment? 24th Amendment. And after 2 years of that is in 1973, the Supreme Court landmark judgment came. The name was Keshwanand Bharti versus State of Kerala, and this judgment is popularly known as the basic structure judgment. Means in this judgment, the Supreme Court bench discussed about the unlimited power to amend the constitution that was provided to the Parliament, and then they established the doctrine of basic structure. That means you can make any law, you can amend any law. You means Parliament, okay? Parliament can amend or make any law, but not a type of legislation should be that would violate the basic structure of the constitution. This doctrine invalidates any constitutional amendment that destroys or harms basic or essential structure of constitution. So, as I said, this doctrine does away with any constitutional amendment framed by the Parliament that is infringing upon or that is going contrary to the basic structure of Indian Constitution. And what is the basic structure of Indian Constitution? That are mentioned in the preamble, basically like secularism, democracy and federalism. I hope you know the meaning of all these three terms. Supreme Court has held that judicial review is the basic structure. As a result, it can nullify any constitutional amendment that abolishes or disregards judicial review in issues concerning to fundamental rights of citizens. So, Supreme Court also said that judicial review also comes in the category of basic structure of Indian Constitution, and so the Supreme Court or any court by judicial review has the authority to declare any amendment, any law null and void if it is infringing the fundamental rights of citizens. And if it is trying to infringe the process of judicial review, then it is judicial review, since it is the basic structure now, so you cannot even infringe with the judicial review process. And if any law is doing that, then that law again will be declared null and void. Okay, so this is all. This chapter is completed. Now next lecture we will begin with the second chapter.